Hi folks, good morning and welcome to my presentation of the time value of money concept. My name is Dr. Mitchell Miller and today I'll be presenting the time value of money concept using the Baker University 4-pillar metacognitive process: introduce, instruct, apply, and assess. In terms of introducing the time value of money concept, the time value of money concept is one of the more important ideas in finance because of its long-term life cycle implications. Time value of money is the idea that money available at the present time is worth more than the same amount of money in the future due to its potential earning capacity. That a dollar in hand is worth more than the same dollar in the future. Time value of money concepts affect all of us. For example, whether or not we create economic security, whether or not we enjoy economic welfare, whether or not we provide for and achieve a secure retirement. Instructing in the time value of money concept is largely behavioral. We begin with two sub-aspects of the time value of money concept called future value and compounding, or present value and discounting. Future value and compounding is, as the name suggests, we compound or geometrically increase values over time to achieve some future value, some savings goal perhaps. With present value, we're trying to figure out how much something is worth today, how much to pay for it today. And we do that by taking a series of future cash flows and discounting them back to the present. We use a timeline to help us visually represent time value of money variables over time. Here's a great simple chart that I prepared. It's a 5-year timeline. As you can see, the timeline begins from the present and goes to the future. A timeline allows us to visualize the present period and cash flows in between the 5 cash flows that are occurring in this particular example. Assuming that we wanted to figure out what the present value of something was, using this timeline for illustration purposes, we would take each of the cash flows and discount it back to the present, take the second year cash flow, discount it back to the present, then take the third year cash flow, the fourth year cash flow, and the fifth year cash flow, achieving a present value for each of those cash flows. When we're done, we add up each of the respective cash flows and we would have the present value of that particular stream of investments. There are 4 variables that we use to illustrate the time value of money concepts. And here we have, if I get the right side, the 4 time value of money variables are present value, or PV, future value, or FV, T or N stands for the number of time periods, and I or R represents the interest or the discount rate that is used. The point is that receiving money 1 or 2 years from now is different than receiving all of the money today. The principal message for students to receive is that a dollar in the future is not worth as much as the same dollar today. Here are the 2 time value of money formulas that can be found in print, in computer, and basically in tables. We see that the present value is a function, the future value rather, is a function of the present value grossed up by the rate of return for the number of time periods to figure out a future value. That would be considered compounding. Discounting, we look at the present value, and we see that's a function of the future value of the cash flows discounted by the rate of return for the same number of time periods. So whether we're compounding or discounting, these are what the time value of money formulas will look like. Applications of the time value of money concepts are numerous, both in personal finance and in corporate finance. In corporate finance, time value of money concepts are largely used in capital budgeting. In personal finance, we find that there are many questions that clients and prospects want to have answered. For example, here are some typical questions. You can see this, okay? Suppose you need $10,000 in 1 year for the down payment on a new car. If you can earn 7% annually, how much would you need to invest today? So when applying the concept, you need to start with the present value of $10,000, discounted for 1 year at 7% to figure out that we would need $9,345.79. A second application of time value of money concepts in personal finance, which most people ask about, you want to begin saving for your daughter's education, and you estimate that you'll need $150,000 in 17 years. You feel confident that you can earn 8%, and you're asking yourself, how much would I need to invest today? A third very common application of time value of money concepts are retirement-related questions, economic security. I'm asked by people, they tell me they would like to retire in 25 years and maintain their current standard of living throughout retirement. Assuming a 2% inflation rate, how much would you need to save today to achieve a future retirement savings goal? As simple as these three applications may seem, they're very involved, very behavioral, very emotional, and these three applications are supported through the use of using a financial advisor, hopefully, or a financial manager. In terms of assessing what we've learned today, I prepared a couple of quizzes. Quiz 1 asks the difference between the student's understanding of the difference between interest, simple interest, and compound interest. Second question to assess your knowledge. Suppose you have $500 to invest and you believe that you can earn 8% over the next 15 years. How much would you have at the end of 15 years using compound interest? How much would you have using simple interest? A second quiz might ask questions that, for example, what is the relationship between present value and future value? Using that timeline for visualization can help. Another question, suppose you need $15,000 in 3 years. If you can earn 6% annually, how much would you need to invest today? If you could invest that same amount of money at 8%, would you have to invest more or less than at 6%? How much? A final question that I get very often is about purchasing a car. You want to purchase a car and are willing to pay $20,000 for the car. If you can invest at 10% per year and you currently have $15,000, how long would it be before you have enough money to pay for the car, pay cash for the car? And here we can see the calculated keystrokes. And what we would figure out that we would need 3.02 years to save them enough money to pay cash for the desired car. Again, I hope that this brief presentation on time value of money concepts was useful to you. We use the Baker University metacognitive process, the 4-pillar approach of introduce, instruct, apply, and assess. Thank you for your attendance.